Thanks and lots more besides. I was really upset yesterday watching Paul Byrne's TV footage. I saw it on the 12:30 yesterday. I imagine it was on the 5:30 as well. It was an interview with Vera Twomey, who released video footage of her daughter Ava having a seizure. And it was harrowing to watch. For those of us who hadn't seen it before, the seizure literally just takes over the child's body and could last up to 30 minutes. I wanted to catch up with Vera and ask her why she released the footage and just generally how things were going, since we all got some good news a fortnight ago regarding changes in cannabis oil. So I want to catch up with her. I thought she was on 3, but she's not, so I have to change the phone line there and come back to her in a couple of seconds' time. Actually, she's on 2 now. So Vera, good morning.
Good morning, Neil. How are you?
How are you, Vera?
Hi, hello.
And listen, was it difficult to release that footage? I saw it on television last night. It was very upsetting.
Doing that for Ava was probably one of the most difficult things I'd say I've ever had to do in my life. Actually, I never, and I really hope that people out there still respect us, you know, for pushing. Even though we put out Ava in such a vulnerable position, because I never ever wanted to expose Ava or, you know, really let people know how vulnerable she is when she's in the middle of a seizure. I didn't want to do it, but
we've put the footage up on our Facebook page right now, and I'm sure you're okay with that as well, for people to see exactly what...
Well, you know, it's very, very upsetting
to
even think about it being up there, but the thing is, we're not getting any help, and I had a kind of a difficult decision to make. It was either, you know, hold back on this or else and continue to wait endlessly, or let everybody out there know exactly why we are so urgently in need of the treatment for her, and that's why I put it out there.
Yeah, okay. It was a brave decision, a courageous decision. How old is Ava now?
Ava's 7 now since November.
And you know, when I was watching the seizure, some people call it a fit, you know.
But yeah, well, seizure is a bit nicer, I suppose.
It is, yeah, but I actually saw people referring to it yesterday as a fit. That's what it used to be called years ago, so...
That's right.
But forget about that anyway, that's just by the way. But do you ever talk to her after she comes out of the seizure and ask her? Because it strikes me that it takes over her entire body and she's almost as if she's on hold, you know, trapped.
Yeah. Well, yes, I mean it is, but you see, to talk to Ava about her seizure, Ava's just developing words at the moment.
Yeah, I know, she can't, yeah.
She would have been you would not be able to have a discussion with Ava.
Not a discussion, but she doesn't communicate as to...
no, I mean, all she would cry, and you would know it was painful, and you would know she was suffering, and you can tell that by the way she cries afterwards. So all you can do is comfort her and, you know, just do everything you can to stop it as quickly as you possibly can.
And you don't know, you said it in the past, you know, how she's going to be after she comes out of one of these lengthy seizures, where she's literally shaking, her body's contorted, her limbs are contorted and twisted, and you don't know if there's going to be brain damage at the end of that. You don't.
Oh, there's every possibility. Like every time, it's every time she goes into a seizure like that, it's a possibility that she could come out with. Depending on the length of the seizure, depending on how oxygen deprived she might be within the seizure. She previously, Neil, you know, Ava was walking when she was about 2 years of age, and she had a number of seizures. She came out of those seizures and she had lost the ability to walk. You know, that's the reality. That happened to us. You know, Ava had 16 seizures in November of 2016 now that was, I suppose, in the space of 7 or 8 hours, and she had a heart attack. You know, that was before she was 6 years old. That happened to her. You know, she had dozens of seizures inside the CUH one time, and she was in a coma for a week after the seizures. All of these things have happened, and worse could happen. But, you know, you try and be positive and you try and hope for the best and stay bright and stay cheerful, but in the background, that's what you're hoping isn't going to happen in the next half an hour, you know.
I know. And how has she been in the last few days?
She's been good again, you know, like she had that seizure, and you know, her temperature went up and she got that seizure, and she had a couple of more because of ear infections and the temperature going up. But like, you see, the seizures are down, the seizures are reduced, and they have stayed consistently reduced by about 90%.
Why?
However,
why? Yeah.
Because of CBD, because of the cannabidiol, the Charlotte's Web that she's taking.
Yeah.
They have reduced the seizures. But the difficulty is we have this constant fear that the seizures could revert back to the magnitude that they were at. And if that happens again, you know, I have nothing. I have no other medication. There's no other option available for us. And that's why I'm out there so persistent and so much in need of this for Eva. That's why we have to be like this, because we have no option. And I did hear you mentioning the HPRA report. You know, we were so excited about the HPRA report coming out, and I think maybe I might have deluded myself about it.
Well, I said when I was talking about the recommendation that was passed by that committee that you must be delighted. I remember saying it on the air. Vera Twomey must be delighted with this news.
Well, you know, the thing was, Neil, that we were delighted until it was sort of explained to us that really they're only recommendations, and they're only recommendations for the future legislation that Gino Kenny is proposing to bring forward. But the thing is, with the HPRA report, all you're going to be able to do is people with intractable epilepsy, people that suffer from MS, and people that want to seek medicinal cannabis for the side effects of chemotherapy. Those three small groups of people will be able to apply for a compassionate exemption, which it has taken us, let me see, since June of 20... our application has been put in, and it's probably taken about 6 months to actually get that application together, to get it sent in. And it's been sitting on their desk for a month now. They said that they would look at it urgently, but, you know, we're still waiting. And the thing is, anybody else that wants to put in an application for medicinal cannabis on a compassionate exemption basis will probably have that waiting time as well.
Okay, but let's...
So, like, if you've got a very sick relative or a very sick child, waiting 6 or 8 or 10 months is a very, very long...
So they've got to fast-track it, but let's say that you get the all-clear soon, and let's hope that it happens. What will that allow you to do then?
That will allow us to bring a product in from another country into Ireland containing the CBD and the THC.
Because now you have Charlotte's Web, which is the CBD oil, but you want the stronger medical option, isn't it?
Well, like, I suppose, stronger, yes. But the thing is, the reason why we seek out why we're seeking out the THC is that evidence shows that THC works more effectively with CBD.
Because you can buy the CBD Charlotte's Web oil. I bought it for a fella's son there a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. I heard that family. That was brilliant.
Yeah, for Luke's son, and it's made a huge difference. I mean, it's an incredible difference. So that's the same oil that you're on, but the THC component will be allowed into the country under the new legislative change, and that will make an even bigger difference, you're saying?
Well, the THC would be allowed in with a compassionate exemption order.
For epilepsy, MS, chemo treatment.
It would take months and months. The more favourable approach would be, or the more realistic approach would be, if the legislation was passed to allow a consultant or a GP to look into medicinal cannabis for a patient of theirs, you know, to use it as an option. The same way that they'd pick up a
prescription
or Epilum or you know, Rivotril or whatever medication like that to offer their patients, you know.
Yeah, instead of making you go through all of the hoops of form filling and 6 months of toing and froing.
I mean, they call it compassionate, Neil, but there isn't a whole degree of compassion about putting people through hoops like that take 6 and 8 months to organise, to even find out what you need.
And have you been given a date or anything?
Oh no, we have nothing. Honest to God, no, we have nothing. We have no timeline. We have no precise indication of exactly what they need from us either.
And are you calling? Are you doorstepping?
I can't doorstep the HSE because we have a point of contact that we've been given now, and that point of contact is only able to liaise with the doctor. They will not correspond with us directly. They will only deal with the doctor. So I'm in a kind of a limbo at the moment because I have nobody to talk to really about my daughter. There is no news on our compassionate exemption,
or anybody else's for that matter.
Well, no, not that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of. But I would imagine there are other families after submitting applications are getting them organised as we speak. But again, it does take time to get all your details together between getting the medical records, finding out what product you're looking for, because you need to research your own product yourself. So, like, say for somebody with epilepsy, we looked into looking for what product would be best for Ava. But if you were a person with MS, or if you were a person in chronic
pain, it might be a different product, yeah.
It might be slightly different, you know.
Yeah, well, I think you're absolutely right when you say, because the working group has recommended that it should be allowed to be used under epilepsy, MS, and chemo, that it should really be dealt with by the doctor and the patient, or the doctor and the family of the patient on a prescription basis, and away you go.
If you've built up a rapport with your consultant and with your GP, they're the people that that should be dealing with this on your behalf. It's not practical to be in contact with the HSE in Dublin. You want to be in contact with your consultant inside in Cork, in the CUH, in the bonds, wherever it is that you're going to.
Yeah. Maybe that will happen. Maybe it's just also new that they're just
hiring. The legislation will have to be brought forward for that to happen, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And, Simon Harris has not given any indication of when the health committee is being brought together to discuss the findings of the HPRA report, which is vital.
I know. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But meanwhile, you're just you're just waiting and worried that something could happen in the meantime that could damage Ava.
We're waiting and we're worried, and you know what? Like you said about putting out the
video.
Putting out the video. We're not kind of public people at all. I know, don't get me wrong, it is lovely talking to you and everything, but
you don't want to be going through this, yeah.
You don't,
But you've made an incredible difference for so many people, Vera, particularly over the last 6 months. I hope that you realise that, your bravery, your courage, your determination, it's incredible.
But
you've done it not just for Ava, but for many other children as well.
Yeah, if there's any other little children out there that's after benefiting from this,
they are.
We're delighted to be part.
And not just children, and not just epilepsy, but for other people who are suffering in pain. And a lot of that is I don't mind saying it. It's down to you. You're incredible.
Thanks.
And well done. And listen, we'll stay in touch, all right? I don't know who's running the bloody country at the moment,
Yeah, I don't know. They're all getting ready for Patrick's Day.
Yeah, they're all, I don't know whether Simon Harris is going to stay in health or whatever, but it certainly is worth a call. But do stay in touch, all right?
We're meeting him on Thursday.
There you go. We'll stay in touch.
And we'll let you know. And I just want to say, right, as well, that, we really appreciate you having us on and, so many times and listening to us about Ava, because if you weren't there to help us, to let people know.
Well, I've been there from the beginning, and I'm not going anywhere. So listen, mind yourself and stay in touch. All right.
Much indeed.
Right, Vera. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Take care. What a great story. What a great woman. Can I also just